No, please.
Look at him. Look at him. Sorry.
Look at her, look at you.
No, it is,
This is
no.
really, it says an evening with us and our names, but this is really for you.
Well, no, it's both of us. We're going to take care of each other tonight
that's
on
right.
this stage, yeah? We're here in this together.
I do, just for the record, I do have newborn twins at home, and I'm sleep deprived, which I shared with Kate before, so I get a pass here.
Yes.
I get a complete pass, although I have my cards, and I do this for a living now. I do host things, so we're going to plumb the depths.
And I have a 9-year-old cat with asthma, so I'm pretty tired too. Have you ever attempted to administer a puff of an inhaler to a cat?
No.
There's a special instrument. It's a gas mask with a tube, and you puff it and you hold it onto the cat's face while it breathes 10 breaths and goes like this. And I do that twice a day. So yeah, I'm pretty tired.
That's really a daily task?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Does it work? No. Coughs all day, every day.
Wait, so
I know, it's so sad.
Have you seen The Pit, this new
Of course I've seen The Pit.
This just makes me...
Woo!
Yeah, woo! That's our, with our newborns right now, that's our thing. So that just, when you have the mask going, it reminds me of like intubation. I'm thinking of all the stats and the numbers.
Are they loving The Pit, your newborn twins?
You know what's funny? We actually, because it's so intense, we watch it on just like 1 bar of volume and with the closed captions. So they're fine. They're just nursing. By the way, twins is crazy, guys. I don't know if anybody here is a twin or has twins. Yeah? I'm an
identical twin.
You're an identical twin. Oh, can we just talk about twins the whole time?
Yeah.
I just had identical twins. Wow. Yeah, it's wild. Tandem feeding? Whew. It's crazy. It's like intubating.
Ow.
Yeah. It's similar to when you put a mask on your cat.
I don't know that it is.
Okay.
I'm not using my body for that.
All right. Well, let's get us started.
Sure, yes. I mean, we could talk about The Pit.
Yeah.
I diagnosed every disease before they did.
Yeah.
I watched it with my mother, who's like a professional medical show diagnostician. And we just turned to one another, and we were like, cirrhosis. And we were right.
I just got through the cirrhosis.
Yeah.
Literally, I think I just finished that episode.
Yeah.
Nice. It's a great format, really interesting. Okay, I can see why they won the Emmys.
Yes,
all right.
no, it's a
speaking of Emmys, we're gonna talk about you some. Okay, so this is not shameless self-promotion. It's actually relevant. I have the podcast where I start with every guest and I ask them, what's a snapshot of your life at 12? The reason I want to do that with you is because this book is the second in a series where you've now devoted a lot of time, a lot of thought, a lot of energy. It's not autobiographical, but anything you do comes from you and your experience. If you're a creative person, I mean, it can't be anything else.
He's right.
So I have to think there must be in some way the seeds of this thing in your adolescence, as it would be for anybody. So if you don't mind, I would like to start with I'm sure everybody would be interested to hear, what was daily life like, a snapshot of Kate at 12? Can you recall?
The year was 1995.
Great, okay.
The town Seacliff, the North Shore of Long Island. Yes. My hair was permed by my mother in the bathtub. I wore big jeans and flannel shirts
What is the process of a perm like?
It's chemicals and a little, I forget.
I didn't know you could do that at home.
I blocked it out. I blocked out the results as well, but there are pictures, and it's rough. It's rough.
Did you choose the perm, or was she?
I think I wanted volume.
Right. Because you already have a lot of waves, don't you?
Well,
You wanted, yeah.
A woman spent an hour doing this. This is not,
Okay,
I have
fair,
thin, sad hair, and I always wanted volume. I had spent my childhood going to school. I went to school dressed as Peter Pan for an entire year. Then I switched to Pippi Longstocking. Then Snow White. And
Every day.
every day. I did go to school dressed as Peter Pan every day for 1 year.
Wow.
And the teachers contacted
They waited a year.
my parents and said, I think she's having trouble distinguishing fiction from reality. This was after we went to Disney World, and I met Cinderella. I met her. These glasses are fake. They're to make me feel smart. I met Cinderella, and after that, the school called and said, I think she's confused. And but I always wanted to be in a costume. I always was wearing a Little Mermaid tail and a wig. I always had to be wearing something outlandish because I felt so fucking uncomfortable. And the family, my parents were both very funny. Loved Saturday Night Live, loved doing voices. Everyone was doing British accents and German accents around the house. It was part of the fabric of life. Comedy, they're just big comedy fans and very funny people. And so there were voices flying around, and I remember that I had to audition for the Queen of Reading Week. It was like Reading Week at the school in 5th grade, and you know about auditions as a young person. So this was of the same caliber that you were doing. Obviously, no, it was for a school skit on Long Island, and I didn't want to audition. I did not wish to perform. I felt very uncomfortable. I wouldn't dance at a dance. I couldn't do it. So then I figured a queen has a British accent, clearly. All queens do. I'll do a British accent and see what happens. And everyone laughed. And I was like, okay, now I know what to do. Now I know how to make people like me in life. And it worked to some degree some of the time. And then I spun it somehow into a career, mercifully. But I just always, I had to be doing impressions and accents because I did not feel comfortable speaking in my own voice even. I'm not sure what voice this is. I don't know who's talking right now, but I think this is my voice. But I, for so long, just felt so much more comfortable talking in voices, in someone else's voice.
I
gotta make a phone call.
So there's my mind forks, and there's like 2 directions I want to go. I do eventually want to talk about the audiobook, because there's voices there, and that's a whole experience. But let's stay in the past for just a moment. You do seem to have had an incredibly supportive family.
Yes.
In your feeling of misfitness.
Yes.
You know, which I mean, while it does sound extreme in some ways with the costumes and stuff, I mean, I think everybody can relate to the feeling of misfitness, but not everybody has like what you have described. I'm just taking you at your word. A very supportive family, right?
It's true. For instance, I don't know if I should tell this.
That means you should. I mean,
I'm not sure how I knew this, but in 2nd grade, in our like daily journal, I drew diagrams of the female reproductive system. My mother is a social worker and was a sometimes sex educator and was very forthcoming about anatomy, doling it out at appropriate times, but I knew about fallopian tubes and the cervix and the uterus, and I was fascinated, and I thought the organs looked so cool, and I drew them with labels in my journal, and she got a call from the school again, and she was like, well, I think it's fabulous. And she, when I began to menstruate, she cried and she said, oh gosh, I'll make you a tampon crown and I'll invite all my friends over and we can dance under the moon.
Wow.
It was that kind of thing. And, yes, so I had,
It's beautiful.
those were the folks I was living with, so that was very useful. And then my father was a weirdo as well, God bless him. And he was like an iconoclast because he was an architect, a solar architect in the 70s.
Wow.
Was railing against Reagan cutting the tax breaks for solar panels, and that's most of what I heard growing up. Reagan cut the tax breaks for solar panels. And so we had environmentalists and social workers and sex education flying around the home, and it was very progressive and fun and they were doing voices. It was a wonderful environment.
So did you feel, I don't know, comfortable at home? I mean, in the sense, in that awkwardness that you're describing, which, again, I think is universal, but for you, you're talking about it, it led you towards performing, it led you towards the characters, it led you towards the voices. At home, was there relief from that, or was it everywhere? This is kind of a very personal question. So
there was relief.
Yeah, that's nice.
There was relief. School was the hard part. Oh my God, I felt like, and that the protagonist in the book, not to.
No, that's what we're here to talk about. So.
In the book, it's the. I'm supposed to talk about the book. It's these three girls who are kooks and oddballs and outcasts within the repressive turn-of-the-century town of Antiquarium in the state of Massachusetts. And they're all odd in their own way. They're all facets of my persona. But the main one, Gertrude, who's really the protagonist, is just always making jokes that land wrong and always having these big ideas that land wrong and get them kicked out of school and stuff. And that was me, oh my God, I remember, oh my God. I was just trying to be funny. It was horrible. A guy came, the most popular guy in school was late to class one day, and he looked as though he'd been crying. And I said, wanting to connect, it was only because I was only ever trying to connect. I said, what happened, your grandma died?
Oh.
I've never, there's not a day gone by in my life that I do not hate myself and regret that moment. But I was always just trying to make jokes, trying to reach out, trying to connect, and having it land wrong. And it didn't land wrong at home, and I'm so grateful for that.
These are three protagonists who are looking for that relief.
Thank you, Mommy. I'm sorry. Sorry, go on.
No. I mean, the connection is these are three girls who are looking for that relief and can't find it anywhere.
Yes, they cannot, except in their mentor, the infamous mad scientist Millicent Quibb, who is,
Your mom.
They sing nursery rhymes about her in the town being a monster, and she feels badly about that. But she's the only one who can see these girls for how special they are, and she takes them under their wing. And I'm very into the trope of a what word am I? Jesus Christ, Kate. Think of the word, goddammit, you're on stage. These people came, they left their apartments. Crotchety. A crusty, a beleaguered mentor figure who finds respite in young people, and young people who find respite in their crotchety mentor. That's a trope that I love. And when I was originally conceiving of this series, which I did in my mid-20s, way before I ever did sketch comedy, or while I was still doing sketch comedy for free in a basement on 26th, the Upright Citizens Brigade here. Shout out. I thought of this, and originally it was just these three girls, and they were having a hard time in the town, but there was no respite, and it was like a bummer, and I was like, this is a bummer. Why is
There
this?
was no Millicent Quibb yet?
There was no Millicent
Okay.
Quibb.
Was it still the early 1900s?
It was, yes. Okay. It was a repressive turn always a repressive turn of the century town, because of the clothes. Buttons on a boot, num num. Also, the social conventions are ripe for satire, and it's a parody of itself. Anyway, there was no Millicent Quibb, and it was a bummer, and I would read it over and think like, oh my God, I feel sad reading this. Why it didn't feel true to life, and then I remembered, oh wait, I had these parents, I had these amazing teachers who were odd in their own right, who encouraged me to be myself, and that felt more true to life, because you gotta have someone. I mean, my gosh, if you don't have any adult saying, hey, you're okay, kid. Because of the culture, no matter what culture you're in, is telling you, stop doing, that's weird, stop doing that, shave that edge off of yourself, please. So there's gotta be one adult who just tells you, you're fine, keep going with what you're doing. Because that's what evolution is. You know, if the first shrimp had been like, oh my God, I better get rid of this tail. We wouldn't have shrimp, and where would we be?
I thought we were the shrimp, and the shrimp was getting ready to walk out of the water. But okay, that was just about shrimp.
Well, but then the first monkey
Yes.
must have had a hard time.
Yeah. No,
Gotten made fun of by whatever came before a monkey.
Okay,
But
so
and here we are right now, thanks to that brave
thanks to
monkey.
evolution. Okay, so actually, this is a brilliant segue to. I want to quote something that you've said. I want to quote you.
Oh my God.
Regarding
What's
social evolution. And let me go through my cards. It's the first time I'm going through my cards. Here we go. Not that one. It's this one. Okay. You said about the sort of analogy that you've been working with here with mad science, right? Or science, mad science as a thing.
What did I say?
You said something I thought was really lovely. You said, the utility of the analogy for you, the mad scientist world, rather than say wizardry, rather than say vampires, in this world of like fantasy for middle grade aged, right? You said that it was essentially asking this question: are we going to be ruined by our greed or saved by our ingenuity?
That's pretty good.
I mean, we could just end there. But, I do feel like every 12-year-old, every 14-year-old is kind of like just coming into the world of realizing, asking that question for themselves. They may not be able to name the question, but they need a Millicent Quibb. They need somebody to name it,
Yeah.
I happen to have grown up in Hollywood, where I feel like a lot of us, we didn't have, we didn't have that figure. So, so kudos to you and amen to you for actually seeing that need and wanting to. I mean, not that you were becoming that person for all of your readers, but it's beautiful
Thank you.
that you're addressing the need.
Thank you. I mean, I think, like, I was talking specifically about environmentalism, but, like, I do think that middle grade literature is so hopeful in that it is the genre that asks the question, because 12-year-olds are the age that are asking the question, who am I? Yeah. Am I a good guy or a bad guy? What does that mean? How am I going to show up in this world? What do I care about? And what am I going to do about it? And they're also, you're asking yourself, who am I? And if you don't get encouragement to find the truth, to answer truthfully, you can spend a lifetime lost and trying to answer falsely. And I just think that it's so important to be nice to 12-year-olds, basically, or else we get adults who are not nice to themselves and not nice to the people around them.
Totally. So how, in as much as that question, you actually said that you said that on this stage a year ago today. That was for the first book, yes. With the better moderator, Seth Meyers.
No,
undoubtedly.
No.
Absolutely, undoubtedly. But
style.
Yeah, very.
Equal.
Yeah.
Equal skill.
That's very kind. That's very kind of you. Thank you. It's yes. Given the household you grew up in and all the. Yeah. How's that question evolving for you? I mean, it's a big one. It's a broad one. We don't even have to spend that long on it. We can go back to the book. But I love that, this idea that we're asking an existential question, and there's a lot of anxiety. And I mean, so I have a 16-year-old and a 5-year-old, and then I have these twin boys. By the way, they're all boys. I forget if I said that.
That's quite a spread, bud.
It is quite a spread.
Yeah.
It is quite a spread.
A lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
Putting on a lot of hats.
I know. And so we have the one who just went through, that early stage of adolescence. Mm-hmm. We got the other one who's going to go through it, and by the twins, I guess we'll have perfected it. Maybe we'll have gotten closer. But I think about how I'm going to help them with that question, thinking about human nature, their nature, like am I a good guy or a bad guy? I don't know. So in all of my rambling here, where I need a moderator right here to help me drag a question out of this one.
I don't know how you'll do that either.
But I want to know, how do you feel about answering that question right now? Are we going to be saved by our greed, or are we going to be ruined by our greed or saved by our ingenuity?
Awkward. Well, what I do know is that we have young folks right now who are facing a host of problems not of their own making that I could not have conceived of as a 12-year-old in 1995 on Long Island. The biggest thing going on that year was Lorena Bobbitt. And what would the outcome be of the Bobbitt trial? And that was a big deal. Little bit more going on now for young folks, more stuff to kind of think about, read about, worry about, etc. And there's that darn internet. Not to crap on the internet, but I think it's really I'm not, I wish, what I wish is that, and what I was hoping to inspire young people to do is to go outside for 1 hour, for 1 hour, and look at a bug, and do something with your hands that doesn't involve being insulted or insulting people, because it is so, like, I don't know about you. I know that as an adult, reading things about myself on the internet has broken my brain so completely and has wounded my psyche as an adult. And I knew what I was signing up for, and I chose it, and that's fine. That young people have access to people's opinions about them is so rotten for the brain, and I wish that I could. My wish would be to inspire young people to just interact with nature, interact with each other in a setting where they can just focus on what is real and what is tangible, and just to have a respite from everything that they're being bombarded with. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yikes!
It was too broad of a question, but a great answer. Okay, it took you 12 years to write the first book. Obviously
Yes,
not
yes.
like literally 12 years of
I didn't write it every
Hitting
day
the-
for 12
yeah.
years.
but,
That would be
but,
weird.
But it was an idea of hanging around for 12 years.
It should be a lot longer if I wrote it every
Now-
day for 12 years.
The second book, how long did that one take? Like a year?
A year, yes.
What was the difference in the experience? Because you were doing so much world building in the first. I mean, something from nothing, 0 to 1 is infinite, whereas the rest is just, it's more incremental. Like, tell me about the evolution for you as a writer, just that experience.
Oh, it was good because I found that things came out of that incredibly tight deadline that I would never have thought of. Just, I don't know. It's a mermaid with a shrimp tail, and that's like a big part of the book. And I only thought of it because I was like, oh, what's a mermaid with a shrimp tail? Okay. And that was cool. So I enjoyed having the tight turnaround because this happened to me when I was working on Saturday Night Live as well. I came in with what I thought was good material that I could use and that would sustain me for, I don't know, a season and a half. And then I used it all. And then I was like, oh my God, I have nothing. But then that forced me to think of things out of nowhere that ended up being better than the things I had labored over for years before that.
Yeah,
So that's cool,
And there is a third book, is that right? I mean, is that something
Yes.
that, yeah.
Yes, there is a third.
Are you at liberty to talk about that at all?
I knew where I was going with the whole thing.
From the outset?
Yes.
Okay.
No details in between. So
So wait, did you know, when you were writing the first one, did you know it would be 3, or was it like you got the first one published and they were like, we want more?
I knew it would be, because 3-ish,
Okay, yeah.
I knew there would be multiples. Kind of like you, with your babies.
You see, we did not. We did not know. There
Oh,
were
you didn't know.
multiples. I mean, well,
Was that a surprise in the room?
So it was a surprise when we got the first sonogram. is when
Oh,
was a
got it.
surprise.
Okay.
We timed it that it would be a surprise, but my God, it's such a surprise.
Wow. Gosh, that's a lot. Anyway, I knew where it was going plot-wise. What took me 12 years really was like, I guess, learning how to write, which I did from watching people at Saturday Night Live write, and also sussing out what the theme was. I knew I had these characters, I had this world, I wanted to be fun, I wanted to be funny. I didn't know what I was trying to write about. And it seems I was trying to write about just what to do if you're, what to do with that feeling of being different. And also, because everyone has it, especially 12-year-olds, even the popular ones. They're weird too. It's less obvious and maybe they have better clothes, but they're just as weird. Yeah, writing, figuring out that that's what I was trying to write about, and also kind of figuring out, I was kind of trying to write about like being an activist, like the making of a person who wants to do good, who wants to like fight for what they believe in, and how that sometimes is like really difficult, and you have to have a lot of bravery and a lot of self-assurance in order to put yourself out there in that way. And the protagonist, Gertrude, is grappling with wanting to please everyone around her in this repressive turn of the century town, and also wanting to be, to fight for what she knows is right. So, you know, I don't know, whatever.
See, this is something that I don't know that it's a
I should have,
spoiler.
I wore my Adidas athletic socks. I
it's
should have
funny.
worn a great sock.
I could have sworn I
You know,
wore my
'cause
Nike.
now my legs are out, and I got this Adidas logo on here. I look a fool.
No, that's a choice. That's a choice. I think that's a very Gen Z move right there.
This was just, I just didn't remember to pack the right socks. And I apologize for those of you looking at my logos and my legs.
Tell me about the audiobook, the process of the audiobook. I mean, it sounds like, I gather, that you had an idea that it would be a bit of its own experience, because you also recorded it with your sister.
I recorded it with my sister, Emily
There's
Lynn,
music, which is not
comedian.
typical.
There is music.
It's produced.
It's produced by an amazing woman named Elise Green, who I love, and who did all of the creative work behind turning it into an audio experience.
Okay, yeah.
I found that, bless you. Was that a sneeze? Or was it a cry into the night? Either way, bless you. I didn't know how difficult, man, props to folks who read audiobooks. That is tough stuff. You know, you have to play all the parts and do the narrator part.
Yes.
And that's a lot of parts to play. And
Although not everybody does it like you, because that's what I'm saying. Is like it really is an experience for anybody who hasn't heard it. I mean, it's really like it's you should get it. You should listen to it.
Hey, thanks.
It's very. She also has twins. It's very much an experience.
Well, I do the voices. My sister and I, we do the voices, and that's what, because I knew what the voices sounded like when I was, because that's how I wrote it. Because I can't make a character without knowing first what the voice is and what the hair is. So I drew their hairs.
That is the first thing you described as well.
Yes.
For each of the girls, the first thing you describe about them is their hair. That's very interesting.
I find, and maybe it's just because of my years in sketch comedy, I think that, call me kooky, I believe that hair style does so much storytelling, maybe more so than anything else that's in the script. I think you can tell so much about where a person is coming from and what is important to them and what they're like based on how they have styled their hair. And so that's the first thing I need to, like if I get a script, I don't know about you, first question, what's the wig, what's the hair? Right. Then what's the outfit? Then what's the voice? And then whatever. Then when do I show up and what's for lunch? You have that?
I approach it a little bit differently.
Sure, I figured.
Although hair
different
is
kind of
very
stuff, you
important.
know.
No. I mean, you're not wrong. Hair is incredibly important. So I wish I had more dynamic hair. My hair kind of does one thing. It just depends on the length.
But it's so you. I know all I need to know.
Yeah.
And I like what I know.
I have to say, as you were describing that, I felt naked. I was like, oh wow, so my hair is saying that much about me. Okay, all right.
I won't say it out loud, but I know.
With the audiobook, your decision to include your sister. Have you guys worked together before?
We have,
okay.
and we continue to. We've done audio series before, we've done filmed series before, and she's just the most reliable voice character actor I know. And so I just said, there's so many voices. I was like, I can't do all these voices. Emmy, can you please help me? That's what it was. And just, Emmy, my sister, the book is dedicated to my sister.
Emma Bean?
That's my sister, yes.
Okay, for some reason
The love of my life, my sister.
The first one is your mother, which...
Yes, but the other love of my life. Okay. My mother, my sister. Yes. Love her.
Can I ask, what do they think of the book? And they see, I mean, obviously your sister's incredibly supportive. I'm curious what your mom thinks of the book, like you now as a writer.
Loved it. And you know...
Thank you. We have to go.
We have to go.
Thank you.
Our Seamless is here. Sorry. No, she loved it, and she, you know, and my sister read early drafts and was very supportive, and I've had a wonderful editors, and my best friend Ted is also my agent. My manager Brian is here, who has also read the earliest possible drafts. Bless him, read so many drafts. Oh,
is it true that you think you estimated about 500 drafts of the first?
I think so.
Chapter of the
and
first
Brian didn't read all of them, because he'd be dead if he had. But had a lot of early readers, a lot of early support and feedback in creating the world.
Did you draw on any novels you can recall from that period in your life? You know, that what we call middle grade. By the way, it's the first time I've ever heard this term, middle grade.
Oh, middle grade, yeah. Isn't it funny?
Yeah.
I would tell people I'm writing a middle grade novel, and they would be like, oh, don't be so hard on yourself. And I would say, yes, you're right, I am, but that's not what I'm talking about. That is the technical name for the genre. Ages, it's 8 to 14, 8 to 12, 10 to 14. It's middle grade. Harry Potter is middle grade. Yeah. Roald Dahl, middle grade. It's a genre that's, it's typically fantasy. They're not yet making out with werewolves, but there are fewer pictures, there's more words, and it deals with questions of identity, often using a fantasy as a metaphor. So good genre, love it. And the books that I loved at that time in that genre were Pippi Longstocking and Roald Dahl. And I was big on Pippi Longstocking. Wow.
I heard you mention Willy Wonka once. Is that... well, at least maybe the figure representing that archetype, that archetype of the gruff mentor.
Yes,
the crotchety
exactly.
Mentor.
Yes.
Is that something that you?
Yes.
read?
It happens to be my dream role in film. Make the call. But also it is that sort of character that is outside the world, but has like a shamanic quality, who is feared, loved, intriguing, charismatic, sort of like outside of it all, but sees things that we can't see, and a young protagonist discovers the wisdom of this this pariah figure. These are my favorite stories. I don't know why. Maybe I want to be that pariah that inspires the young, as I was inspired by others.
You definitely have that
Yeah,
vibe.
that's why. Okay, there
Definitely
we go.
have that vibe.
We got it. We got there. Okay.
Okay, we do have questions for the audience, which are a little
Sure,
bit
sure. Oh,
like
thank you.
the
Oh,
young
yes.
coming to this
Thank you.
shamanic pariah figure. So they're kneeling before the threshold and asking Kate McKinnon.
I'm not saying I'm all that. I'm
No.
not-
But I'm saying we have these questions.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So, all right. In no particular order, because I don't have time to, unless you guys just want to give me a second and I can go through all of them silently. But yeah, so I'll just start with the one on top.
Good.
Do you ever suffer from imposter syndrome? And if so, how do you handle it?
Who asked it? Fuck you. No, who did ask? Would you
Actually, the last part which I didn't get to, I bet you don't.
Oh.
So is it,
No, see, I'm sorry, who did ask that?
they probably don't.
Thank you. Oh my God, it's really bad. Like, yeah, I really do, and it's really hard. And I think that I venture to say that most people who are living a creative life or putting anything out there for review do suffer. That's what mad science to me is also a metaphor for like the joys and the pain of a creative life. And I find incredible joy and incredible pain in it. I'm sensitive. I feel vulnerable when I put something out there. And I also, the greatest moments of my life, why am I crying? This is weird. Have been in communion with people who I don't know, and also who I know. I'm not like a loser or anything. I mean, but some of the most powerful moments of my life have been in being vulnerable in that way. I was just thinking today about there was this moment where SNL was, during COVID, we had like a drastically reduced audience. And so there was like one person every 5 seats. And so like the laughs were not as big just because there were fewer people. And the last episode of the season, it was a full house for the first time in a year. And I didn't expect to, but I just, sorry, what the hell? I walked out on stage and I just was bawling because everyone was standing and I was like, this is worth anything. That feeling of connection is sometimes so potent, and that is why I keep doing it.
Okay, this is from someone named Jess.
Okay.
She says, I loved the audiobook of the first Millicent Quibb book. Can you
Jess,
talk about the
my girl.
process? Yeah. Can you talk about the process of coming up with a voice identity for each character? You and your sister did such a good job bringing the characters to life.
Wow, Jess, where are you?
Oh, wait, there's more. This is...
I love you too, Jess.
Okay, there's two questions from Jess, it looks like. And yeah, so we'll
I'll do the one about the audiobook, and then I'll read, but I will read after Jess. We'll talk. You and me, we'll talk. It was kind of tough because I have all these voices in my mouth that I like trot out to myself as I'm gardening or doing whatever. I'm just always doing little voices. And so coming up with one for the protagonist was tough because I settled on this sort of thing. But I also, this other voice which was like this, was in the mix. And I recorded much of the audiobook with like doing like this. And then it just wasn't landing right. There wasn't like enough personal strength. And so then I started doing this, and something about this, like doing S like this instead of like this. No offense to anyone who has a lisp. Just felt better for the character. And often I found S is a very important consonant. You can tell so much from the S's, as with the hair.
And
I often
okay.
at SNL would be like, I would do something in dress rehearsal and it wouldn't go right, and then I would be like, oh, it's the S's. I have to change the S's. Anyway, so that's something, Jess, but we'll talk more. Anyway.
Okay, this is an interesting one that kind of builds off of that. What do you, if I'm understanding this question right, because there's some things here that are crossed out, but what do you picture each character as an adult, or is as an adult? Is Dee Dee a sea captain? Sea back for footnote.
That's from the first book.
This may be a duplicate footnote, but just in case. I have something for your passion for pickling, just...
I'm a pickler.
Okay.
I'm a pickler. Oh, who's the pickler? Got it. We'll talk. We'll talk. I can do tight 90 on pickling. And I have. And I will again. What was the question, though? Sorry.
What do you picture each
What do I
character
picture them as an adult?
Right. Am I getting the question right? Because there's something crossed out.
Thank you for that. It's a wonderful question. It's a beautiful question. It speaks to the way that generations can inspire one another. I picture them as, of course, mad scientists, continuing the work of fighting the KRA, which is the bad guys, and probably having a school for mad science. And, it could have gone another way for those gals had Millicent Quibb not shown up. But I picture them, continuing that work and evolving.
Here's a question: in the world in the world that Antiquarium exists in, are there towns that are kind of like its opposite, which are not repressive?
That's an incredible question.
It just came right off the.
That's book 5. No, I don't. I mean,
Okay.
not as I've written it, but probably somewhere. In book 5. Okay, go.
Book 5. Okay. Wow, I like this. Very just simple, direct to the point, even written in a way that's just like, bam. What is your favorite adjective?
Obsequious.
Ooh. Hey, I'm going to be real with you. Can we define it? I don't even know what it means.
Saccharine, there's another good one.
Yes,
Just
saccharine I use a lot.
overly
Obsequious.
pandering.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Sycophantic.
Great.
Love that.
Okay.
Oh my God,
Pretty
what?
funny. This is pretty funny. This is also just look how it's written. Did you or Edwina Candlestank write this book?
This is the first time it occurred to me that there might be a young person in the audience, and I have said curse words. I said 2 that I remember. It didn't occur to me that there might be young people in the audience because it's late. I apologize for the curse words that I said. Wow.
See, my instinct was that somebody was just like asking a deep question. But yes, I suppose that is written by a child.
I don't know.
Is it written by a child? It's so good. I was like, this is a work of art. I honestly was like, this is the smartest question that's been asked.
May I have your name? Hi. Thank you for coming. Sorry I said 2 curse words. Ignore that. Okay, the question is, did you or Edwina Candlestank write this book? And what it is, okay, that's a great question.
Yes.
Because it says, the book is written ostensibly by G. Edwina Candlestank, who is an historian of mad science. Why couldn't I just do it without this other layer of it being written by G. Edwina Candlestank, historian of mad science? I have to talk in voices. I couldn't figure out the tone without it being some other narrator with their own deal and outlook and way of talking. I tried. I couldn't do it. So it's written by G. Edwina Candlestank, who is me. So you see. Thank you for your question, and thank you for coming tonight.
Yes, thank you so much. I was wanting to ask you before, what was your experience like narrating the book? Because, you do so many voices, but then there is I suppose it is the Candlestank voice, but it's your voice.
This is
Did
so,
you have a...
yes, yes. Because I started out doing, and G. Edwina Candlestank sounded sort of like me, but like a little character and a little transatlantic and like a little bit. But then in more serious, quiet moments, I would just drop into my own voice naturally because it was serious, and that's my voice. And try as I may, I can't get rid of it. And why would I want to? It's mine.
Okay, we've got 2 more here.
We got 3 minutes on the horn.
Yeah, so
We want to get these folks home.
So actually, one of these is a little redundant. So I'm just going to go back to Jess's second question here, it's nice. You seem to have a lot of scientific knowledge, animal facts. If you didn't end up working in comedy or writing, would you have ever thought to pursue a career in the sciences? And Jess signed here an actual, not so mad scientist.
You are a scientist? Yes. Of what denomination?
Gene therapy. That's a real scientist.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Gosh. I didn't have the brains for it, darling. Ultimately, I didn't couldn't have gone the distance in the sciences, but I did always love nature and love science, and I was big on astrophysics, which definitely couldn't have gone the distance there. Calculus, a barrier to entry if you're interested in the stars. But I did and do love science. I know a scientist, and I was so struck. I know one scientist who I went to high school with, and now I know Jess, of course, but I was asking him about his process and listening and to how I thought it was just like, a syringe, and I don't know what I thought. It was just like I thought it was doing a lot of what other people prescribed with a syringe. And to listen to him talk about it, it was so much like the agony and the ecstasy of creating sketch comedy characters. He described pacing around his room, having no ideas, feeling pressure, scribbling on napkins, not knowing, and getting a kernel of a hypothesis and then seeing if it worked, which is the exact same thing as sketch comedy. Seeing if it works in front of an audience, and sometimes it falls flat and sometimes it doesn't, and that's art. And so I see no difference between science and art other than that you have to be smarter for the science. Anyhorse, look. I
think that's a great sign-off.
All right. Yeah. Oh, you can do this part.
Yeah, this is the one part that I'm not prepared for.
Oh.
How am I going to segue out of this? I love what you just said about science and art.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll just have to wrap it there. I think this is streaming and it's being recorded, but that's where they'll cut it, and you guys get to see how it's done in the business, where this is not in the thing, right? Kate, thank you for even inviting me to be a part of this.
Thank you.